episode of Season 1 with guitarist Ross the Boss. Season 2 will launch on January 1st, 2021. We'll continue to post excerpts from Season 1 and upcoming episodes for Season 2. A lot of big things coming in 2021. You got some background noise going?
Let me turn my fan off. Hold on. Okay.
There's no other noise?
There's a fan in my... I'm at my business. It's a batting cage. There's a fan.
So there's no way around that, huh?
No.
Okay. You've had that for a while now, huh?
16 years.
Incredible. It doesn't seem like the pandemic slowed down your music.
Yeah, that didn't slow me down, no. The only thing that slowed down was the shows. It killed it. But as far as music and musical output, I've been doing a lot. The interview was about Death Dealer, correct?
Yeah.
I'll just tell you what I'm doing. So that besides Death Dealer and beside the new Rusty Boss album that was put out in March, that was not toured. We have not toured. We look at it as a new record.
Born of Fire.
Which is an amazing record. It's just so spectacular. I gotta say it. Just did a version of Heart of Steel, Live Nation, Crew Nation, an acoustic version that people are raving about. And beside that, the original Dictators, my first band, are recording, and we're about to put out our first song in a couple of weeks after we get the mix back. And very, very, very extremely excited about the Dictators. And so, when the green light is given, I'm going to be touring with 3 bands. So I'm, extremely looking forward to that. And what can I say? In the meantime, we're busy.
And so how are you recording nowadays? Do you have a setup at home?
Well, Death Dealer is all over the globe. Stu is in Sydney. Even Sean are in California. Michael is in New Jersey, and I'm in Queens. So everybody has their studios, and whatever has to be contributed, we add. That's the beauty of the digital world now, and we found that it's just we're getting spectacular results, and but because the band is amazing, the parts of the band are incredible, and so wherever files need to go, the files go,
right.
And that's where it is,
Stu mixed the album?
Stu will take the album, Stu will mix it, and he'll, mastered it, and it's someone else mastered this one.
It said Mayor Applebaum.
Yeah, Mayor. He's out in Los Angeles. He's great, real good friend of mine. So I mean, everyone that contributes is really fantastic. I mean, like a cake. If you have all the tremendous fresh ingredients, you're going to get a great cake. It has to be mixed right, of course. So
you record your guitar tracks at home?
I have a studio with my partner out here, and as a matter of fact, we're working tonight on my final Dictators overdub for a song, and I've been doing that for 10 years or more here. If I had to pay for all the sessions, for all the overdubs, for all the work I have done over the last 10 years, it had been tens and tens of thousands of dollars. And this has all happened for nothing. So, what can I say? I mean, it's not good for the studio industry, but it's good for us.
Right. Yeah, I saw your old, I think I did a post on it. Your old buddy Joey from Manowar just opened a studio not too long ago, I think.
I don't know about that. Maybe not such a good idea anymore. This is his deal. I don't know.
So, I read something where Stu had said that Chris Themelko, am I saying that right?
What about him?
It said that he treated your guitars, drum and bass. I'm just wondering what that means.
Oh, I think he sampled some stuff. He added some stuff to it. Yeah, that's what he did. It's all about guitar sampling and all that other stuff, but it's pretty much basically what I sent them.
This album, 3 tracks, will be available on streaming services?
Yes. We are definitely supporters of physical medium, and so only 3 songs from this killer album will stream, yeah. I guess if you want to hear the whole record, you're going to have to go and show your support of metal and rock and roll and buy it, because that's what we need. We need our fans. All fans have to buy actual products from the bands these days. And we do have a whole exciting line of stuff you could buy. I mean, Sean has done an amazing job with the packaging and pre-order packs and T-shirts and patches and signed stuff and vinyl and badges. I mean, the whole 9 yards.
Now, is that something you typically do on every release, or is this a new thing you're trying?
No, it's, the heavy metal fan is used to having, actual physical merchandise. The fans want it. The fans want the CD. The fans want the T-shirt. The fans want the patch for their denims, the badges, the buttons. What else do they? Whatever they can get their hands on, they're gonna. I have fans that buy anything that I have. And I mean anything. So they're very loyal, and they want it. They want the whole 9 yards. I have silver rings. I have the Ross the Boss Ring of Power. I have pendants. I have my jewelry line. I got the samples in yesterday. It looks stunning, absolutely stunning. It's done by this guy Alessio Leontini in Italy, and it's just amazing. He's done rings for Iron Maiden.
Oh, yeah, I saw a video with you showing the ring. It looked badass.
It is badass. Rings are numbered, and I've signed the inside and in silver. It's really great. I have a fan that has bought 4 rings.
When is the Dictators album coming out?
It's not going to be a record. We're gonna. The first song we're gonna release it on Medium, on digital Medium, and see what the reaction is, and we're gonna take it from there. Perhaps we get a record deal, perhaps we don't. We've had offers. I mean, the Dictator, that's a big name. The tours were going to be very big, very popular, very well attended, and we're looking forward to it. We're going to take it, a little bit at a time. We're going to have a lot of tracks recorded, and we're going to see what we're going to do. But we know what the reaction's going to be. So
after looking at your history, I started thinking that you might have the distinction as being the person who signed more record deals than anyone in history.
Well, I've been in a lot of record labels, that's for sure.
The Dictators were signed to Epic and Asylum.
Yep. Shakin Street was on CBS. Manowar was EMI, Liberty, Megaforce, Music for Nations, Virgin, Atlantic. Manitoba's Wild Kingdom was on MCA. We've been on a lot of record labels.
Were you signed to Asylum during like the David Geffen years?
77, 78, I think so.
I guess you never crossed paths.
Well, we were out in Los Angeles a couple of times. We met a lot of people. We were like these snot-nosed, sarcastic, knuckleheads from the Bronx, and and the West Coast hippie at the time. Like the Eagles, and I think the Eagles were on that way, right? Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jackson Brown. It's not like we exactly blended, but we did. Those people were very, very supportive of us. I mean, Paul Kantner used to come to all our shows when we hit the West Coast. Very nice guy, and we miss him, and
Yeah, it was very artist friendly. Did they kind of just leave you be? I know you had Sandy Pearlman and Murray producing, but
yeah, no, they were very nice, and I really loved that. I mean, the Shakin Street album was recorded in San Francisco at the Automat, and so I spent a lot of time in San Fran and Los Angeles back in the day, and so it's nowhere near like it was, I can tell you that. So
you guys kind of gave birth to punk, really.
The Dictators were really the first proto-punk, punk band. We were like a year before the Ramones, and finally we're getting the respect and the due that is deserved. It is deserved for us, and we're very excited. And hey, buddy, and we're what can I say? We're honored, and we're still here. So we have a new drummer. Our brand new drummer is Albert Bouchard from the Blue Oyster Cult. So we're really loaded on talented ideas. Me, Andy, Scott, and Albert, the 4 of us. Mr. Manitoba is no longer in the band, and so we're looking forward to the original Dictators.
You played CBGBs and all that during its heyday, right?
Yes, sir. I mean, I think our historian, said the Dictators played CBGB's 35 times.
Are there any standout shows that you reflect on from time to time?
Well, the Johnny Blitz benefit. Johnny Blitz was the drummer from the Dead Boys. He got jumped, and he needed medical help, so we did. It was a whole 3 days of the Blitz benefit, and then, of course, the Dictators closed CBGB's. We were the last band to play that last final weekend.
Wow.
Friday, Saturday, and we were the last punk band to play, and then Patti Smith played on Sunday. That was it. We were the final weekend.
One thing that blew my mind was Mark the Animal Mendoza from Twisted Sister was in the band.
Yep. Mark joined the band on our second record, Manifest Destiny, and played bass. And he's an amazing guy, amazing bass player. One of the best. I've been blessed with an amazing bunch of bass players, I can tell you. And he's one of them. Mike Lapon, Mark the Animal Mendoza, Joey DeMaio, and Andy. Great guy, but Mark is just a beast. He is just a beast, and one of the greatest guys.
Does anything stand out from working with Sandy and Murray on those releases? Anything you learned from them that lasted through your life?
Oh, I learned a ton from Sandy Pearlman. I did record. I was honored enough to do records at CBS Studios and the Record Plant, the legendary Record Plant, and I learned from Shelly Yakis and the amazing engineers at the Record Plant and Tim Gillen at CBS. I learned right from 75 was the first Dictators record, so I learned so much about microphones and analog recording and cutting tape and editing and all the different boards I was an apprentice. I was like a kid coming up in the industry in the 70s, and I definitely learned so much.
When you cut your guitars nowadays, are you miking up an amp? Are you putting a 57 on it, or are you just going direct and using plugins?
No, I most of the time I like live amps, like on my last album. It's all live amps, but I put it's both. I have everything hooked up, and I have double cabinets mic'd up, different microphones. I have digital guitar interface all in there, and everything gets on its own track, and I mix it, and whatever sounds the best I use, and the mixer gets that as well, and so he's able to, like Steve Lieberman on Fire was able to, get the best guitar talent, and so it's just options. I could just settle on one sound, and that's what I got. I said, this is it. But I like having options. That's the benefit of having 84 tracks.
And the curse.
That's right.
What kind of amp do you use to record with?
I'm into Angle, all two. I got Angle amps. I got Marshall bottoms. I got all sorts of stuff. I think Angle makes the best amp now. I would say Angle. I use the EVH 5150 Van Halen amp, one of his amps.
Sure.
I use the Angle. I use the EVH. I use my Digidesign 11 rack.
The Dictators opened up for Iggy Pop and Blue Oyster Cult.
Yes. The first show we ever did, I think, was opening up for Iggy Pop and Blue Oyster Cult in Prince Mary's Community College in Virginia. That was the very first show I think we did. And we walk into the dressing room, and Iggy's there, and he's smoking 2 joints of angel dust. Like 2, not 1. He was fucking out of his brains. And oh my God. It was definitely hello, music business. For us, twerps.
He was still preparing to go on stage that night?
Oh, yeah. He wanted to break on through to the other side, that's for sure.
I know that you're not on all the albums, but is it true? Do you think that Manowar has sold over 20 million albums worldwide?
I don't think so. I'm on the first 6. We definitely sold a bunch. I can attest to that because of my royalty checks, but 20 million? No. Someone's trying to sell you a bridge.
What would you guess? Because I'm thinking the albums you're on are by far the biggest sellers in the catalog.
All right, maybe 6 million, 5 million, 6 million by now. Let's remember, first came out in 1982. So that's been decades. It's been decades of multi-generational fans buying these records constantly, over and over again.
Of course.
So I would say 10 million. Being liberal.
Definitely sold more overseas, right?
Absolutely. Yes, in Europe, Eastern Europe. I mean, we'll never get an accurate, because it's been bootlegged. It's been, it's just been robbed, and the labels. Les Paul told me my first roadie in Manowar was Les Paul's godson. His name was Danny Barry, and we used to go to Les Paul's house in Manowar, New Jersey. And Les would always tell me, Russ, if the record company tells you they sold 100,000, they sold 200,000. And this is Les Paul. Russ believes Les Paul.
Any chance of you talking to Joey at all now that Carl got into all that trouble?
Right now, no. I mean, listen, I'm here. They know where I am, so I don't think he has any intention on making Manowar a competitive band again. I don't think so.
Well, that sure would be cool if you guys would do a reunion. So you're open to it?
Yeah, sure. It would be the original band. It would have to be Donnie, me, Joey, and Eric. I mean, that's the original band. Everybody's still alive. Or get Rhino. I mean, if he doesn't want to work with Donnie. But I think the fans really want to see it. And the fans are pretty. Seeing what I'm hearing, the fans are pretty turned off. So, I mean, the original fans are turned off.
And when's the last time you talked to Joey? Was it when you guys parted in the 80s?
Well, I talked to Joey when Doc died, the guy that did all our equipment, and his mother, when his mother passed. I talked to him 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. How did that go?
It was okay. There's still the old bullshit there, but I'm not a negative person. I don't live on bad vibes, because that shit eats you up. I mean, look what it did to the Ramones. They all died from cancer. They all hated each other.
Soldiers of Metal, you produced that Anthrax track?
Yes.
Okay, so how does that come about?
Then when we started playing, we came down to New York, and we played this show. We played these shows for Johnny Z, who was the owner of
Megaforce,
yeah, and he had the store and everything, and he had a band. These guys, Anthrax, they weren't signed yet to him. So Anthrax was opening for us. So I became friends with Anthrax, and Johnny Z, Anthrax. They asked me to produce a couple of songs for them, and I produced. We went into the studio, and I produced the original band with Neil Turbin, Charlie Scott, Danny Lilker, Danny Spitz. I produced Howling Furies and Soldiers of Metal. And Soldiers of Metal got them signed and got their career started. And Johnny Z says if it wasn't for me, he would have never signed Anthrax.
How would you describe your role as a producer on those tracks?
Well, I had to get, we worked on the arrangements. They were never in the studio. So, I had to, we're going to set this up here, we're going to set this up there. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to mic it like this. Everybody agreed, yeah, sounds good. And then, I'm not a complete bully in the studio. I make very nice suggestions, and Scott and the boys were very, very nice, and they were very professional. And I'm glad it all happened for them, And then Johnny Z tells me Metallica, if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have signed Metallica either. So he got into it with me a couple of weeks ago. So
what do you mean, if it wasn't for what?
It wasn't for me for them signing Anthrax. Johnny Z said likely Metallica wouldn't have went to Megaforce as well. So I have I'll speak to Johnny, but he definitely said something like that to me, and he doesn't bullshit. Johnny Z does not bullshit.
I thought Metallica signed first, but I know they were around because Metallica stayed at Anthrax's rehearsal hall or something.
Yep, right here in Queens. Yep, in the music building.
I was a big fan of that. I even interviewed Alex Perry Ellis at some point a couple years ago.
I think that comes into being in the story too. His studio up there in Rochester, the upstate connection. That's all. I'll get this. I'm gonna call Johnny. As a matter of fact, I was gonna say hello to him, see what he's doing, and get the story correct, so I don't make any factual errors that will be called out on. He's very complimentary of Ross the Boss. I can tell you that. I'm in the book, so anyway, I'm in Johnny's book. So.
Yeah, I just read that one.
Yeah.
Shakin Street, are you still doing stuff with that project?
Yes. 2 years ago, we did 15 shows in France. I think that's the band's place to play. I mean, maybe we could break out to do little shows in Alsace, but it's still around, so we can do it again. So
right.
Fabian's still in decent shape, so we're gonna we'll see what happens. But I have so much to do. It's just we'll see what happens.
With Shakin Street, though, I, of course, like everyone, loved Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell. But you guys opened for them on that tour, right?
That's right. We were in England opening for Black Sabbath. Ronnie James Dio, Heaven and Hell, and of course it's the great story, the old immortal story that I was doing my sound check, and Ronnie Dio comes up to me and. He was so lovely, and he goes, Russ, I love the way you play guitar, and, I know all about the Dictators and CBGBs and New York rock and everything. And I said, I'm like, yes, sir, wow. And, it's Ronnie Dio. I'm talking to Ronnie Dio, and so, it's like, but, Russ, you should meet this guy I have on the crew. His name's Joey, and he plays bass, and I think you two will hit it off. And lo and behold, I went and met him, and we started talking, and we started doing things, and we started jamming, and the next thing you know, cutting demos for EMI, and we got signed to EMI. We didn't even have a name yet. We changed it. We found this name Manowar, and that's how it happened.
What do you think it was that Ronnie thought that you guys would be a good match?
Well, he knew Joey. Because his cousin Rock Feinstein played in a band with Joey called Thunder, and so all those guys up in that area, in Ithaca, in Rochester, in that area, knew each other. Billy Sheehan, everybody knew everybody, and Santalis, and so Joey knew. We were very friends with Elf and Ronnie's band and Dio, so. Craig Gruber and all those guys, and so Ronnie knew everything. Everybody knew everybody. So
anything stand out from that tour?
Black Sabbath were very nice to us. Always let us do a sound check. Always very, they were always respectful to Fabian, and it was a great time. Great time.
Were you wanting to leave the band at that time? I mean, were you looking for something else?
No. When I met Joey, we decided we were going to make the heaviest band in the world, and that was our plan. It's if you listen to the song Manowar, it's biographical. We met on English ground in the backstage room. We heard the sound, and we all knew what we had to do. We called the high command, requested leave to make a stand, and we all knew what we had to do. Manowar. That's exactly what the story was. So I told Shakin Street that I would be leaving the band, but we had a replacement. We had a very good replacement for the band. Did it all by the book. We didn't hurt anyone. We didn't want to hurt anyone making the band. Didn't want any bad vibes, and that's what we did.
On Battle Hymns, I noticed that all the songs were written by you and Joey, and then I noticed as the albums go on, it's like mostly Joey writing all the songs, and I just wondered if that was something that caused tension over the years, or was that just kind of understood?
Well, I was constantly writing songs, and the ones that were getting used, it's just like, I could do a whole thing on that, but mean, I wrote 2 on Kings of Metal. I wrote 2 on Into Glory Ride. I wrote them both. You know, I wish I could have written more. I mean, I could have contributed more, but I had my friends tell me, you had tons of ideas. Tons of ideas back then that he just didn't want to use, I guess, for, when you look at things, there are reasons people do things. And so I'm not gonna get into that negativity. But, the songs I wrote, I'm very proud of.
So that was never a discussion between you guys? It was just kind of understood?
Yeah, because I'm not the kind of guy that likes to argue.
Into Glory Ride, you guys signed your record deal in blood, is that true?
That is completely true.
So you signed both deals, the Megaforce and Music for Nations?
Yeah, it was just that one time to Megaforce. We had contracts, we had the knife, which wasn't that sharp, so I had to really press it into my arm, and we had, and I got blood. Joey had it in his chest, I got it on my arm, and we signed in blood. Did it. We knew we'd get a lot of press out of it, and we did. Just
to get a reaction?
Yeah, and to tell people we weren't fucking shitting. We weren't fucking bullshitting. We did what we said we were going to do.
What do you remember most about recording that album?
Into Glory Ride? I mean, we had left EMI, and we got this buyout money, and we recorded it very quickly. I think it was one of the most hateful, angry albums ever written, and that's the way we were feeling, and it was we came up with a really good record. So I mean, Gloves of Metal, Hatred, Secret of Steel, Revelation, Warlord, some really good stuff. So I'm proud of it.
And on Hail to England, you guys toured with Mercyful Fate?
Well, no, we didn't tour with Mercyful Fate. Mercyful Fate was supposed to tour with us. And the first show in England, we finally got to England for Hail to England, the record, and they were insisting on using our equipment. And they saw what we brought over, which was every last piece of gear. We called it the Wall of Voodoo. And everything brand fucking new, ready to go. We weren't going to let another band come on and partake in our hard work. And, we did this. We said, open the show. And, of course, they accused us of not giving them the PA and proper lighting, but they couldn't, their stories were bullshit because all the Kerrang, all the Melon Maker, all the magazines were there. All those guys said nothing wrong. Manowar were perfect gentlemen. Mercyful Fate played the show. Blah, blah, blah. King Diamond came out. I was looking forward to seeing them. And the next night, they didn't show up for the next tour. And they never called anyone. And that's the way it was. They never called anyone. And they just bugged off the entire tour.
Wow. So that kind of dispels what it says on Wikipedia, which is you were opening for them first, and then it ended up they were opening for you.
There was not a chance that Manowar was going to open. We would have. It didn't matter. We'd open up for anybody. It's just no one wanted us to open up for them. Because with Manowar came the fucking Wall of Voodoo. It came everything. It came the whole 9 yards, Whitesnake offered us a tour spot, but we weren't allowed to wear our leathers, our outfits, and it's all sorts of bullshit, I don't know. You never know what it was all about.
Why?
Did fear grip them? Maybe. Fear might have gripped them. The word had gotten out, but who knows? I'm not saying. I don't know. A whole different deal back then.
Sign of the Hammer. I just interviewed Tony Platt, so I thought that was pretty cool that he produced that track and mixed it, right?
Yeah, he mixed the record. Yeah.
And did you?
Nice guy to work. We did it at the Virgin Manor at this famous hunting lodge. I think William the Conqueror or something. That was so old, and Virgin had bought it, and we were working there, and like the ladies of the manor were there to serve us, 24/7. And if you wanted a steak at 3 a.m, you could get a steak, and if you wanted something else, you could get something else, and that's how it went. Great place to make a record. Rush was in the month before we were there, so we had a good time.
Was he good to work with?
Ronnie was amazing, yeah.
You know, one thing that blew my mind is I looked for the official video for Fighting the World, and there isn't one, right?
Fighting the World, there is. The video is Blow Your Speakers.
Right, but no video for Fighting the World?
No, not for the song, no.
I thought that was released as a single or something. I remember hearing that song, but I just assumed, man, that was such a great song. I thought,
Right.
I don't know why you guys didn't do a video to that one.
Who knows? Who knows?
All right, man. I appreciate your time.
It was an excellent interview. Thank you for having me.